あれは歪みの原因にして淘汰の本質。
やはり良くないものだったのか。ミスティたちはあの光に飲まれたに違いない。俺たちもそれに飲まれるというのか。大丈夫か？
はい、大丈夫です。声も顔つきも変わったっす。
Alright, we just got done watching episode 12 of I Left My A-Rank Party, and you guys know I always keep it a buck with you guys. I always tell you my real opinion, and I was not feeling episode 12, and I was thinking about like, well, why didn't I enjoy it? I think it boils down to this, couple of things. One, I think the episode was incredibly boring. I paused the episode like 3 times just to like doom scroll TikTok for like 3 to 5 minutes in between. And it really sucks when you do that, when you feel like the necessity to pause because like your eyes are just glossing over. That's not a good episode. Second thing, we learned this episode that like, you know, worlds are colliding, and Yuke got picked as like the hero of their world, blah 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 blah. And I just don't think I'm feeling this story. Now I was interested when they were like, oh, Persephone, and she's basically like a death dealer, or like a death bringer, you know, somebody that like moves souls over as they die, you know, kind of like a Grim Reaper type character. I definitely was interested in Persephone and what that brought to the story, and I do like that, okay? But the whole dungeons lead into different worlds, I think was very interesting. I was like, okay, that's really cool. You know, you go into a dungeon and it could lead you into a modern world like a Tokyo or China or something like that, in a modern sense, a sci-fi world or something like that. I think that's really cool for the dungeons to work 2 ways to lead into other worlds. But now we have worlds crashing and they're gonna have to get into a fight. It kind of reminds me of kind of like Shield Hero, I guess. You know how in Shield Hero, one of the main plots was like, you know, the worlds are invading each other through like these events, and what's happening is the worlds are competing for one to be the world. So it's similar to that. But I was like, I don't know if I really like that, you know? And I think the way that they're rolling it out, it's fine, but it's just really boring, you know? And I like it when it's just Yuke embarking on these adventures and streaming with the girls and increasing his relationship and getting closer to the different girls, and they're all realizing that they're in love with him, and his harem is growing, and he's dealing with, you know, love for the first time and these feelings. And now that you're introducing this like world-ending calamity to it, it's like those things that I think make the show more unique and interesting and fun and make you smile are going to kind of take a backseat to this larger scale calamity thing that they're introducing. And I just don't like what they're introducing. So I don't know how to feel, you know. I'm gonna sit on it, you know, but like overall I thought this episode was doo-doo. I think it was a 5 out of 10. I wasn't entertained. I was overly bored. I don't really care about the storyline. I don't care that the girl they found turned gold. I don't care that she's some kind of goddess. I don't care that the world that they're fighting is made out of human beings or something like that. And like I don't care. And that's a big problem for you when it comes to shows, is like if you're introducing something I just don't truly care about, especially in a non-long running show, right? A good example was Danmachi this season. The first core, you know, the first part of this season, the most recent season, which was like season 4 or 5 or something. I think it was season 5. The core is I care about the show, and the show has treated me really well. But the first core of this season I didn't like, you know? But I was like, you know what? Keep pushing through, and good, because the second core, I was like, oh, wow, this is awesome. Similar to My Hero in the past, right? You have a really long-running show, and that really long-running show has treated me well. And then we get to a start of a season, you know, or start of a core of a season, like the training arc, which I thought was just garbage. But then the next arc, I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. As opposed to this show where it's like, we've only, there's 12 episodes in. Although I like the first like 9 episodes, you know, the first core is not long running enough for me to be like, oh yeah, well, it treated me really well, so I can make do with this, because this is the next core. This is the next story. So anyways, I'm gonna have to sit on it. There's so many anime this season that I may pause this one indefinitely. But I'm gonna sit on it and think about it. But let me know what you guys thought about this episode. You know, I could just be Mr. Doom and Gloom, you know, but these are just real feelings. I've never had to pause this show this many times, and I've never had such a boring episode. So that's a little concerning. So yeah, anyways, I left my A rank party to help my former students, blah, blah, blah. Episode 12, 5 out of 10. Overall, I think the show is like a 6 or 6, like probably 6.5 out of 10, you know, probably 6 out of 10. So it's not like it was like, you know, oh my God, amazing, but it was a little gem of the season, I thought. But this next story arc, I'm just not feeling it. So let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments below. You know, drop me a like. Let me know your guys' real thoughts. And think about this versus all the other shows. You know, today alone, I've covered like 6 animes today. So anyways, I'll see you guys next week, or I'll see you for another video. Peace out, my friend.